Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is entitled A Time to Harvest. It was written by Brian Sammons, Charles P. Ziglanis, Glenn Owen Barras, and Mike Mason, and it's available on the Chaosium website. Jeff Wilkins is our game master, and this is Chapter 1, Episode 4. So, without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Jeff?
Thank you, Tom. So, just real quick, where we left off last episode was it was in the middle of the night, and you all had just had another one of those strange shared dreams. I'm going to reread the last paragraph. It says, these visions fade. You find yourself still immobile, but now seem to be in an overgrown clearing of twisted weeds surrounded by trees, sugar maple trees. It's broad daylight, yet no birds sing. Powerless and immobile, you sense things moving nearby. From nowhere, you hear a gut-wrenching woman's scream. You awake back in bed, frightened and confused.
So as we start awake, is there still screaming in our ears? Can we hear somebody in the house screaming?
No, it's quiet. You hear crickets that you're outside took.
Oh, it's the mole man. And I make sure Higgins wakes up too.
Okay.
Dude, did you have a dream? Did Higgins have a dream?
I didn't have Higgins roll, so
okay.
I don't know if Higgins did or not.
Dude, you're making it up. I'm not making it up. You are.
20 minutes later, after it, we have a how about Charlie and Jared? Did you want to do anything upon waking, or
do I hear anyone else awake?
I don't think so. You're downstairs. You all are separated, so Tug's outside. You're on the first floor.
But there's a lot of guys downstairs, right? With me on the first floor.
Yep.
Including Jack.
Yes.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
So if I don't hear anyone else awake, I don't want to disturb them. But let's presume that I've had experiences writing down dreams before. I knew I was already planning to write it down, so I had a notebook to hand. I'm probably used to writing down more or less legibly without having to disturb myself. So I try to do that quietly and hope I don't interrupt other people who might still be having a weird dream. And I try to write down everything I remember as exactly as I can, even though it's a pretty bad scrawl in the dark, I'm sure.
Yeah. I remember your character intentionally sort of prepared or prepped.
Yeah. I made a sort of a makeshift little talisman thing based on one of the books I've looked at, some kind of occult book. I put it under the pillow. I meditated as best I could and fell asleep as consciously as I could manage to do.
Mm-hmm. Talisman, meaning it's an actual physical object?
Yeah, I probably used notebook paper and copied it down from... I mean, I didn't put on my inventory list anything other than like a pretty commonplace book that I don't think would have that stuff. Let's presume that he thinks he could remember one more or less accurately and try to draw it from memory and put it under there.
Yeah. So you must have done something right, because it did work, so...
So being conscious that it worked, I'm even more... Okay, so when I'm done writing it down, I then try to make notes about how I prepared and take this super seriously, because obviously there must really be something to this occultism stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Charlie, did you want to do anything, or are you just going back to bed, or?
I'm going to pretty much follow in his example, although I don't know he just did that. Because I was the one who suggested writing the dream journal. So I'll jot down as much as I can remember before it fades.
What time is it?
Yeah, I'm going to do things. Don't focus too much on that. So I'm just going to say middle of the night. You wake up, you're too tired. You might have glanced at your watch, but you're too tired, didn't really register. So for the dream sequence, it's just going to be middle of the night.
Okay.
If it helps, we'll say like 2 a.m.
All right. Well, once it becomes apparent, if it becomes apparent that other people aren't waking up and it's clearly still nighttime, obviously I'm even more confident that there's something in this sort of thing. And so now I'm even more purposefully, perhaps not ever having tried seriously to do this before with any rigor, but now I'm trying to reconstruct where the dream left off, trying to visualize it vividly, trying to sort of project back into the dream, probably trying to sort of imagine the thing that I drew in my mind's eye and be, very, very precise about everything as far as possible.
The details.
Given significant lack of practice doing this like an older, more experienced person might. I'm taking it seriously, and I'm trying to fall back asleep as alert as possible. So
I'm gonna whisper in Harold's ear. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna catch that mole man. I set a trap for him, and he's gonna say, dude, stop whispering in my ear. And we go back to sleep.
Jerry, can you, if you don't have this information, that's fine. I'm just curious for my own sake, really. Can you give me a little more, like, what is this talisman? Can you give me a little more detail? Like, is it just written words? Is it symbols? Or is it...
No, I can tell you exactly what it would be. This would be a talisman bearing the seal of a planetary spirit of the moon called Pasmodai from a grimoire called the Armadale. Crowley reproduced some of these planetary images in a couple of his works that would have been available to someone with these interests in 1933.
It's early the next morning. Sun's starting to come up. It's still dawn's breaking. People are starting to wake. People are starting to move, and eventually you all are waking up.
I head straight for my trap.
Okay. I'm going to come back to that for in a second. Okay. Jerry?
Any more dreams?
No more dreams. The rest of the night was relatively peaceful. I say peaceful, but at the same time, these, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they did talk about the shared dreams last time, right?
Yes.
That's how you knew about it, right?
Yeah. So once it's obvious that everyone's awake, well, let's see, who had the weird dreams last time? Jack did.
I did.
Everybody else did except me, right?
Except you, yes.
Right.
Correct.
So I'd see Jack first.
Well,
do you remember
okay.
Any dreams?
Hold that thought.
Right, I'm realizing I might not see Jack, actually, but I expect to see Jack. And if I don't see Jack, I look for Jack.
Correct. So what's going to happen is you start to come to, first of all, I'm going to ask you to do a sanity roll.
Okay. Also, did I lose a point of sanity? No, I didn't lose any sanity last time. That's right. So... actually, are you keeping any independent record of those things? It appears to me that my sheet completely failed me, so I'm going to have to remember. I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to try to find the other copy. Anyway, I believe I was down to 74, but I made it.
All right, just take 1 point because it's just a little bit odd, a little bit weird.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're coming to, you wake up, you're looking around, you're looking for Jack to talk about this shared dream experience, and you don't see him. You don't see his baggage or clothes or suitcase, And you also don't see Blaine.
Blaine is in the room, isn't he?
Right. Blaine was in the room by himself, basically.
So I'm not surprised I don't. Does Blaine usually? Is he already up usually?
It's only been like, this is I think day 3 of the field trip. So
Well, okay. Well, is his door open or is his door shut?
His door's open, and you kind of like glance in. You don't see him. He's not laying in bed, and he's not.
Well, they must have gone out or relocated. But I know Charlie had the dream last time. I go upstairs looking for Charlie.
Okay. Charlie, are you awake?
I've been awake. Actually, I'm downstairs. Setting up the tape.
So I see her downstairs?
Yep. Going over my notes.
Good morning. Did you have something to write down from last night?
I'm just filling out pretty much the stuff that we found yesterday at the site. You know, writing notes, comparing notes. I'm also, I think I said this yesterday, not yesterday, the last episode, that while everybody else was drinking and having fun, I went up to my room and I was actually comparing, not just comparing, but like taking notes of the casts that we made earlier that day, writing them down, writing the measurements, things like that.
Well, that all looks very scientific. I was wondering if you had anything else to write down from last night.
As I'm writing, I'll say, just, what do you have to say? Say it. As I'm writing, trying to get to work here. What do you want to say?
Well, that was going to depend on what you had to say, but fine, I'll go first. I had a very strange dream.
And when you say that, she stops writing just for a moment. You see her kind of shiver a bit. She'll give you a sideward glance and continue to write. And she's like, go on.
Well, before I tell you, did you record anything you might have dreamt?
I have, but please continue.
I just wanted to be sure I didn't accidentally distort your recollections.
No.
I'll go get my notes.
All right.
I want to be sure I tell you accurately.
Okay.
And so, Jeff, for ease of play and time, let's assume that. Well, I want to account it as accurately as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not sure whether you want to do anything to modify that. Am I able to accurately recount it just as we experienced it in the narration?
I'll leave it up to you. I mean, you did take notes, so...
Then yes. If it's up to me, then I recount it with great accuracy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And I mean, I guess when you return, you'll see that she basically lit up a cigarette and she's smoking. And this is weird or strange to you because Charlie doesn't seem like the type to smoke.
I was going to say the same thing.
You seem a little unnerved. I take it you have something to share yourself?
So, I mean, after I would guess that you're sharing your version of your dream.
Yeah, I've recounted Wayne. I've recounted everything as accurately as Jeff described it to us.
So when you do that, you see her because she has like a stack of her own books and stuff like that, and underneath you see this little leather bound journal that she has. And she removes some of the books on top of it, and she picks it up. She scrolls through a few pages. She finds the page that she's looking for. She plops it down on the table, turns it around, and slides it towards you. And pretty much what you've described from your dream is exactly what I have written down.
Well, I'm
Do we need to take sanity rolls for this?
I was just going to ask you that. I'm going to leave it up to your character.
Yeah.
Well,
If you want to, Tug, if you
Honestly-
want to do this as far as just so we do this all together at once, I'll assume that at some point you talk to them about it too. So if you want to like consider whether or not you want to roll sanity for Tug, that's up to you.
Okay, well, if I find out that they've been comparing dreams and they start talking about them, and
Yeah.
or if they ask me and I say, yeah, there were minarets and there were something like that, then I might freak out. But I'll probably freak out after they freak out because.
If I fail, how many points should I take?
I was going to say 1 to 2, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys again. If this is just, I am curious though, because we did kind of like sort of, glance over it last episode. But like in my mind, I mean, shared dreams is pretty unusual.
I'm going to take 2 because of that.
Dude,
can you put the dream back, Jeff? Can you put it back up?
I believe I can.
Because we might want to actually discuss it, right? So I respond to Charlie as I'm reading through it. I'm flattered you to trust me with your diary, but of course I can't reciprocate. My handwriting is nowhere near this elegant.
And
It is identical. This is most uncanny.
Well, how do you think stuff like that happens?
instead of saying, I mean, in my journal, instead of it saying you awaken, it's done in the first person. So
I'm sure mine is the same.
and
my journal's not written so eloquently. It just says
scary stuff.
it was a weird dream, scary stuff. Yeah. Although I like the sugar maples. They're pretty in the autumn when they turn bright red. Were they bright red?
No. Matter of fact, Tug, do an idea roll.
18. That's a pretty good roll.
I'm just going to point out the fact that you are currently in your tent, or at least you just woke up in your tent. You're
I know.
surrounded.
You said that we were comparing
Right.
our notes.
What I'm saying is when you wake up after in the morning, you're looking around, you're actually surrounded by sugar maples.
Oh. And then I'm going to go check on my trap.
Yes.
So I'm going to hop up and I'm going to be like, dude, I'm going to go check my trap. I'm going to run over there and take a look. But I'm not gonna go too close because if there's little footprints, I wanna preserve them.
You want to remind us what you had left there?
I don't know, some food, meat. So if I had some meat, I left it there.
So you get there.
Not bears or anything.
You get there and you see something bright. It's colored white. And as you get closer and you kind of, what is that? That doesn't look like what you left there. And here it's one of your socks.
It's one of my socks. I have to buy back my socks. Maybe the mole man will leave me better presents if I give him better food. I take the sock and I go, thank you, Mr. Mole Man. And I go back. Are there any footprints around the stump?
It's the same sort of situation. So early morning dew, and you probably do see some, not necessarily mud, but,
Okay.
Maybe some tracks.
Dude, I ran back to Higgins. Dude, he gave me my sock back.
Well, hold on, because I wanted to,
Okay.
just as you are about to pick up the sock, it moves.
What the hell? And I move around it and look at it. Is there a bug on it or a?
It's just kind of laying there, but it just kind of like did this sort of thing.
It moves. So I'm gonna find a stick, and I'm gonna take the stick, and I'm gonna move it around. See if there's like a bug or a scorpion or a spider or something on it.
And sure enough, a little snake starts crawling out.
Oh, what? Doesn't matter what kind of a snake. Dangerous looking snake or a not dangerous looking snake?
Yeah, dangerous.
Ooh. So I sort of put the stick underneath the snake and I flip him away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take my sock.
Sure. It's only one.
It's not your stock, it's not snake stock, it's not whatever. And I go back and I go, Higgins. And I make sure he wakes up. You gotta come see this. And then I'm gonna run over to the house and open the door.
Okay.
Guys, Mole Man's back.
Rush out of the house.
I'm gonna say, and I'm telling you all the way.
Where?
Over.
Where'd you see him?
I put some meat on the stump over here for him, and he took the meat and he left me my sock, and there was a poisonous snake. What would it be in this area? Cottonmouth.
Sure, just a rattlesnake.
Okay.
Cottonmouths are southern.
Copperhead.
Copperheads, probably a copperhead. It could be
Okay.
a timber rattler,
I
too.
say it was a copperhead. There's a copperhead in there. I flung him over there. He could be. Watch out. Make sure he's not in the.
But
There's footprints. Look. They're hard to see because it's just dew. But you see him?
Jeff, do I see the footprints?
Do you?
Do I have to roll or what?
I'm asking you. What does Jerry see? Does he see footprints the same as Tug sees them, clear as day, or is this maybe a figment of Tug's imagination? How does Jerry?
Well, Jerry's skeptical. If he doesn't actually see actual footprints,
Okay.
then he doesn't believe there's footprints, right?
Mhm.
Well, how do you explain this?
I don't.
Give me my sock back.
I don't see the footprints. How do you know it was the Mole Man?
Who else would it be?
Well, I realize that the Copperhead may not have eaten your contribution himself. There are other hungry things around.
Okay, but he took my sock and then he gave me back my sock
How do you know it took the sock?
because the socks were missing from my tent, and then they appear where I put the meat.
Oh, so you didn't put the meat in the sock?
No, I put the meat on the stump. I didn't have the sock.
That is peculiar.
Dude, and I'm going to run back and I'm going to see if I can get other people. You guys got to come and see this.
When I realized, Jeff, just how peculiar it is, then I started looking for footprints. Still skeptically, but with much more determination to find some indication of what went on there. So if I have a chance of finding something, I'd like to roll to find it, if possible.
All right. Yeah. Well, why don't you do that then? Go ahead and roll, and we'll see how that turns out.
Okay. Something weird happened to my screen. There it is. All right. Okay. Yes, that is a regular success on tracking.
Okay, great. Yeah, you think you see them too. You know, it's not super obvious. It's not like a footprint in the mud. Like I said, it's more of like the wet grass, and it's been trampled down a little bit. There's some sort of, pattern in the way the dewdrops have been disturbed. So yeah.
Any chance of following them? Are there enough of them?
Yeah, you got a regular success. I'll say that you can see that they head off back into the woods.
Do other people start coming now?
Sure, you've got a nice little crowd.
All right. Everyone, look. Tug's right. You can see the print right here. It's just a depression in the grass, but the dew makes it clear. See, you can see here the the moisture has been disturbed, and look, there are obviously tracks. There's more of them. They're headed to the woods. I think last time we lost track of the tracks. Let's be careful where we're stepping, but I think we should follow these.
Well, we need to take presents with us because
All
you
right.
have to leave them some sort of gift. Otherwise, they won't.
Well, what kind of meat did you leave?
Meat from the restaurant, some hamburger, I guess.
Well,
But maybe they want something better than that. Like, does anybody have any gold? Does anybody have a gold locket or anything we can give them?
why don't we stick with things that are edible? What do we have that might be good? I remember one time I was camping and made the mistake of leaving some biscuits in a package in my tent, and all that was left was a tiny hole in the tent and the package and no biscuits. I'm sure it was some kind of vole, but they like those sweet things. Anyone have any sweet biscuits?
I don't think we brought any food with us, though.
Well, I have a few things. It's,
Foie gras.
I have a couple of I have a few cookies in a package I was nibbling on. I'll go find them. Come on, someone must have at least a couple of things to eat with them that they were saving for out on the dig.
If the tracks are going to go in that direction, let's.
All right, so Jeff, I go get the cookies.
Let's make a
and I
hike
get my
of it.
rifle.
No, you're not going to shoot Mole Man.
It's not for Mole Man.
He's a creature of the woods, and he's lived here for 1,000 years. And
I have no intention of doing any harm to anything that interesting or special, and I hope that goes for the rest of you. No, this is for protection against larger and more ordinary creatures.
Like what? There's no big animals around here.
Other than bears.
We haven't seen any bears.
Well, let's hope we keep it that way and see only mole men and giants. And so did anyone else find any food, or are we really going with the 3 cookies?
Giants?
You remember the large prints from before? They're in the folklore longer here than, well, honestly, I'd never heard anything about the folklore of mole men. Not that I don't believe you, Doug. This is already so strange that I think mole men are less strange than the rest. But
well,
and anyway, where's Jack and Blaine?
So
Has anyone seen them?
I think that's a good cue. I'm going to say, for the sake of the story, Charlie, you're still in the house. You can't really be bothered with what's going on outside with the talk of mole men and stuff. And out the front window, you see a car pull up. It's rather fancy. And then you see a woman and what looks like a young man get out of the car, and the woman is like fussing over him. She's giving him a bagged lunch, like a brown bagged lunch, and she's, don't forget your lunch. Here's your sweater, and she pulls a sweater out and gives him the sweater. And, if you need me, just call. And then she gives him a big old schmooch on the forehead, and then she gets in the car and leaves. And then that's when we see Jasper Price enter the scene.
Do we hear a car pull up?
Yeah, I'm going to say this all, there's nothing sneaky about it at all.
we're distracted.
Yep. Jasper, do you want to use this time to give us a quick introduction of your character?
Okay, I will do that. Hello, my name is Jasper Price. I'm a student. I'm 19 years old, although I'm relatively small of stature and a little baby-faced, so I perhaps look a little bit younger than 19 sometimes. I grew up in the wilds of Colorado, where my family have a farm, and I like the outdoor life and lots of hiking and walking. But there comes a point when you realize that there's more to the world than Dunton, Colorado, even if it does have hot springs. And my real aim is to just get out and see everything. I want to explore the world, find all the lost corners that no one's been to yet, and take canoes down rivers in jungles where no one's been before. That's why I studied anthropology. It's going to be a great adventure. I just know it.
I put my elbow into Higgins and I go, why does Jasper do this every single time he shows up?
I like boxing. I really adore boxing as well. I should mention that I'm a great fan of boxing. That scientific pugilism.
Jasper, there is a mole man, and we're going to find him, and we're going to put him in a bag. But we're not going to sell him to a circus. We're just going to talk to him.
Do you have a bag?
We got a bag. We'll grab my suitcase. Or I don't have a suitcase.
I'm just going to stand quietly, looking uneasily around me.
It's a long story. There's a 1,000-year-old mole man who's been living in the woods and hunting rabbits, and he steals my socks, but he gives them back when I leave food for him. And we're going to go find him. Okay.
And have you started writing this?
Writing it?
Yeah.
I'm not much of a writer. I know. And I elbow Higgins again. I say he tutors me on my writing skills.
Yeah, I thought you were always reading those pulps. I thought maybe you tried your hand at writing a story for one.
This is real. See? And I show him the sock.
It's a real sock. I understand that it's a real sock.
See, he believes me.
I'm with you on the sock, pal. But
well, you're going to believe when you see the mole man. And there's little feet everywhere, but only in the mornings.
Yeah, well, that's.
Yes, be careful where you step. We don't want to disturb the tracks. And let's not lose any more time. Hi, Jasper.
Should we get Charisse?
Yeah, if she wants to come.
I'll go get Charisse. Maybe she'll want to come.
Can someone tell me where my bunk is, because I need to put my
everybody's on the ground floor in there except for me and Higgins. We're in a tent. There's only 3 bedrooms. The girls each get one. Blaine
Jasper, why don't you just set your things down in the front room? If you're coming, we need to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not every day a fella gets to see a 1,000-year-old mole man, is it? After all.
And I'm going back to find Charisse and tell her what's going on. Charisse! We're hunting the old mole man of the woods.
I roll my eyes when I hear this.
No. Look. And I show her the sock.
And I look at the sock and I'm like, it's a sock.
I would like everybody to note how legends begin, because I keep changing the story as I go and adding to it.
All right, fine. Let's see this mole man of yours. But I'll give you 10 minutes. If we don't find this mole man of yours, we've got work to do.
And as I'm leading her down the stairs, I'm telling her the whole story from the beginning.
Yeah. And don't forget, it's still very early in the morning, so the sun's still it's dawn, so
The
it's still
sky
a
is
little
light,
bit.
but-
Yeah, it's lightening up. Yep. Jerry, did you want to do a track to see if you can go further into the woods?
George?
Absolutely, I am making it. No. I seem to have lost them.
Well, then let's just go in that general direction, because it doesn't look like he's doing this much.
Okay.
And mole men, they always walk in straight lines because they're blind.
They can still smell, Tug.
I
Probably
don't see anything.
better than most. That's my point.
A couple things. First of all, I did forget something, so I'm going to correct myself.
Okay.
Today was the day that the storm was supposed to hit.
Oh,
I was talking about the sun coming up, and although the sun does come up, it's very gray and gloomy.
it's great.
Okay. It's not raining yet, but there's definitely, you can smell it in the air.
There's
Let's not go too far unless we want to get too wet, though.
it's just water.
And then once you get into
I'm game if you are.
it's kind of like a gloomy look to it. These trees are closer together. The canopy is thick. It's full of green leaves. So not a lot of light is breaking through the tree. So it's kind of dark and gloomy in here. After 5 or 10 minutes, you're kind of going in the direction that you think they went in. There's a sense that maybe you're not alone. Maybe you're being watched.
Then is it possible to make a survival check to notice indications of what kind of thing that might be? Are we sort of sensing like an animal or a person? Maybe it's actually spot hidden. Probably not survival. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot hidden. Well,
40.
yeah, I failed.
Oh, that's not a pass for me. I just realized I'm Tug.
I was going to say 40 is pretty good.
All I'm doing is going, what was that? What was that? Not in the trees. Didn't live in the trees.
Out of 60.
What was that, Charlie?
34 out of 60.
Pass. Okay. Charlie, at the last second, you see movement in the tree above Tug. There's not enough time to yell.
Okay.
Because as soon as you see that movement, what you're seeing is something dropping from a tree branch.
Is it dropping on top of him?
Exactly.
I wasn't going to say anything anyway.
Okay. The second whatever it is hits me, I probably crap my pants. But
Now, what does this look like?
is it heavy and knocks me down?
Oh no, this is like I described before. It's roughly about 2 to 3 feet tall. It's hairy. It looks like a combination of a rodent type look to it, maybe like a long jackrabbit type ears. The nose or the snout comes to the star mole. I think I described. It's got the really weird, funky. I mean, if you haven't seen a star mole, Google it. It's like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
So it's got these weird sort of tentacle, almost appendages coming out.
So the effect is like a cat jumping onto my shoulders.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think how I would react to that. Maybe I should roll, because I'm probably going to scream. But do I drop, or do I duck, or do I try and let's see what I do. Yeah, I probably crouch down all of a sudden and I go, "Mole man!" But I'm petrified.
Is it still on
when he
him?
shouts out "Mole Man," we all suddenly just start like doing this dance.
Yes. So you crouch down. You yell, "Mole Man!" The rest of you.
I'm presumably right next to him because
Sure.
we've been walking and talking. Is it still on him?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, it's trying to stab you with its little knife.
I was going to say, if it
Whoa.
tries to do something that hurts me, or is it trying to stab him?
It's trying to stab you in the back
Or
of the neck.
me? Okay.
Wait, hang on, this is the first time I've seen this.
It's the first time anybody.
Do I need to make a sanity roll for this?
Yeah, I was going to do that as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess I need
Probably
to.
because I scream, you all.
Yeah, I made it.
Okay. If
but
it
I'm gonna
jabs
take-
me with something,
I make it. I'm gonna take one. Well, depending on what you were gonna have us roll, if we failed, I'll take half of that.
Well, I was going to do like I'll say 2 for a fail and a 1d4 plus 1. Because, I mean, this thing is, although it's small, it's still freaky looking. You guys
Wait,
have never seen anything
you mean 2 for a success and a 1d4 plus 1 for a fail? Or
yes, did I,
Yeah.
I think I say it back.
well, so I've taken. I made it. I took my 2.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say my sanity roll, and in fact my first roll of this campaign is a fail. So
Let's see if you get a 5.
so if it jabs anything in me,
do you know what, Jeff? That's exactly what I've just done.
he's gonna run back to the camp, going, "Mom, come back, come back."
That's a great way to start the game. You're in it for 5 minutes and you got sanity.
Yep.
I don't know how quickly it's possible to react, or whether this involves any type of initiative. But as soon as I see it with a knife stabbing Tug, you said it's on his shoulder,
Yeah, lines up like
and
here.
he's crouched down.
Yep.
So
Well, now, like I said, the second that it jabs me with anything,
Yep.
I'm gonna probably, for some stupid reason, I don't want to hurt him, but at the same time, I kind of expected him to bite me or do something. I'm just gonna sort of go flat on the ground, saying, "Get it off me! Get it off me!"
well, my question is, I don't want to take the risk of shooting Tug. So I think
Oh, God.
I'm at such close proximity. Can I just sort of strike it with the rifle?
Butt into the rifle.
Yeah. I mean, that also is at risk of hitting Tug, but that's not going to kill him. So, you know,
Yes.
that seems safer than trying to shoot it.
Yeah. Sounds logical to me. Tug, while you guys were talking, I was rolling dice. So, Tug, you unfortunately took 3 points damage.
Okay.
He got his knife into the meat of your shoulder.
I have the sock like this. Sock.
You know, I'm going to say that it's the knife that did it for me. That I can handle seeing a weird-looking animal, because there are weird-looking animals about, but a weird-looking animal that's holding a weapon and using it like a human being. No, that's no.
But that's how he hunts rabbits.
No, I'm doing some of the screaming now.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
Jasper, do you want to just stand there and scream, or do you want to do anything else?
I might whimper.
Okay.
Did you want me to roll brawl
Yes, please.
on this?
How about Charlie? What were you doing?
I was looking for maybe a branch, a fallen branch, or something like that. To try to
Yeah.
The football player.
No, I missed.
You missed? Okay. Charlie, it's the woods. I'm not even going to make you roll luck for that, so just you find something.
You want me to roll? I'm going to try to knock it off of him. You said brawl? I'm not a brawler, but let's see. Nope. Got a 54 out of 25. So I go to swing at it, and well, it wasn't a critical, so it wasn't a critical fail, so I don't hit tug.
So you just kind of, he crouched down and you kind of whiffed. So
Yep.
My next move is the wrestler's move. I'm just going to try to roll over.
sure.
Roll it off me.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're trying to like get it off you then, like grab it and get it off you kind of thing?
Well, since I laid prone face down, I'm just going to roll sideways.
Okay.
So it's either going to roll underneath me or it's going to roll off. And if I can grab it, I will, but my hands are in the wrong place. It's back here.
Well, so give me a little more detail. So if you were to successfully roll, are you then what's like, because you're right in the middle now.
It's going to get flung off a couple of feet in that direction.
Okay, you're just trying to get it off you then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Has Tug dropped his suitcase?
My bag?
Your bag?
Yeah, probably.
I say, someone get the case, the bag, whatever.
I got an 81, so I probably didn't succeed in rolling over.
Well, we'll say that you did roll, but the thing's like it's already embedded the knife in,
Okay.
and it's got a grip on the knife, and its other hand is gripping your other shoulder, so it's got a good grip on you.
I'm kind of used to farm animals hurting me, so I'm like, get it off me. And I'm maybe screaming, friend in French or something like that, because I don't know what language it speaks.
Jerry, what do you want to do?
Try again to, wait. So it has the knife, it's clearly clinging onto him with one hand, and it has its other hand on the knife.
Yep.
Is it chittering or chattering or making any noise?
Sure, exactly doing that.
Okay.
I'm just going to try to hit it again. I still think that trying to shoot it would be a poor choice.
Yeah, because now it's kind of a bit under me.
No. I can't get to it because it's kind of under him, apparently.
Yep, and he's sort of rolling around now, squirming, so. Charlie, you want to try again?
Trying to think. Yeah, I'll try again. If this fails, then I'm going to try something else. And it fails.
Okay.
I got 57 this time.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to try to grab the knife.
Okay. I don't think I'll make you roll for that. You can grab it.
I'm going to try to pull it away from Mole Man.
Yep. What's your strength? You have a big strength, if I recall right.
80.
Yeah. You get out of his grip.
And I'm a rower.
Mm-hmm.
So I take the knife away from him and I roll over again. So
Okay.
have I knocked him off, or is he still clinging?
To a brawl.
Okay, because he's going to bite me next. I'm sure of it. With his little 25 brawl. Yeah, that's better than that's a hard.
Sure. So what do you want to do? Just kind of fling it off you, sort of?
Well, since I grabbed the knife, maybe I have his hand too, and I'm going to pull him around like this.
Okay.
So that he's hanging from my hand.
Yeah. He's hanging, he's squirming, he's trying to scratch, he's scratching your forearm up with his other free hand.
Okay. If I can grab his other hand too on my next turn.
I'll give it to you now.
Okay. So I've got him. Get the bag, get the bag.
Charlie, get the bag. I don't want to have to shoot him.
I'll get the bag.
So now I am readying a shot if necessary.
Okay.
Okay. Get the bag. All right. Do we get the bag?
Yep.
Got it. I'm holding it open.
Drop him in the bag.
Sure.
And
Yep.
then I
Tight
show.
up.
Yep.
All right. I'm just like, see?
I'm watching the bag very carefully to see whether it starts trying to claw its way out or somehow bite its way out.
It's definitely, it's like freaking out. It's like, the bag.
I'm going to twirl the bag around a bit to like
get him disoriented. Yeah.
And then I'm going to smack it onto the tree.
No, don't kill him. We want him
It doesn't
alive.
have that much of a strength.
Yes.
So all I'm doing is knocking it out.
I'm bleeding, so
Should I roll for that, like a strength roll or something?
Yeah, Tom, give me a cent. So that's your intent to knock this thing out, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Because I was gonna say if I fail it, then I might kill it. Like I might swing it a little too hard.
yeah. I mean, this is a strange creature. You're not quite sure how hard is too hard. You're
Right.
all hyped up on adrenaline. What's your damage?
My strength is 50.
50. So that's average.
Yeah.
What's your? Is it 1d3? I think for normal, like a fist.
Yes. Plus damage bonus. I don't have a damage bonus, so.
So give me a 1d3. If you get a 3, I'm going to say you kill it.
1d3. All right, so.
D6.
D6 divided by 2, yeah.
I got a 2 on the roll, so that's 1.
Yeah, okay, 1 point. Yeah, I'm going to say you knock it out. The thing flops.
Okay. I'm looking around to see if there's any more of them
Yeah.
or
good
anything
idea.
else out here.
Yeah, you have a funny feeling there might be
And
more.
that's a success
You have a strange,
on spot hidden.
Yep. You don't see anything, but you have a sense that there might be more.
Okay. I want to look at the knife.
It's rather crude. Kind of looks like, remember the Indian arrowhead you guys found?
Uh-huh.
It has similarities to that. It's kind of a stone flint sort of material.
How badly is Tug bleeding?
Yeah, 3 points. It's hurt. He's hurt.
But the animal, you can't hurt the animal. It doesn't know any better. I mean, it's just a.
Yeah, well, it was going to stab you to death.
Well, they hunt in the woods. I've been hurt by animals before. I'll get fixed up. Where the hell's Jasper? He'd probably like to see this knife.
Is Jasper gone?
Are you
I look
over
around.
there? Or
Come on, let's get back.
I go over to Jasper and I go, pull yourself together. Look at this
Let's
knife.
get back. There are more of these things, and we only have
Oh,
one bag.
I'm going to take the knife from him and start looking at it.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, if I'm holding the knife, I've got the knife, this is its knife. This is the knife that it had. So it was real because I'm holding its knife.
Okay.
So this was a real thing. I wasn't hallucinating. This was a real thing that I really saw.
No, we all saw
I've got
it,
this in
Jasper.
my hand right
It's as
now.
real as the blood that on Tug's shirt. Let's head back now.
So
Does it just look like a small knife? It's not. It doesn't look like it's been adapted for a different kind of hand or something.
Yeah, it's very crude. I mean, it's like basically just a piece of rock flint with like a sharp point on the one and then sort of rounded. It's not even really necessarily into a handle, but it's clearly this thing was grabbing it by that end and using the stabby end.
Oh,
Right.
I see. Right.
Why don't we discuss this back at the house? Let's go.
Yeah, we can
Yes,
get a better look at it.
Yeah. Let's get the hell out of here.
As we're backing away, I look back at the woods and I say, if you ever want to see your friend alive again, you're going to bring back my socks. Because that's what Tug would say.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea to antagonize them.
I don't think they understand English.
But they might. I mean, you know, hey, I mean, if they understand language, maybe they could be trained.
Well, we'll find out if this one understands English, assuming Charlie didn't brain it to death.
Got some muscles on you, Charlie.
Yeah, that's quite an arm.
Who should we show this thing to? Not the sheriff, he's a dick.
Maybe the deputy.
Well, we need to get it back to the university for
Yeah,
study.
that's my thought exactly. I mean, if these things can use tools, and if we could train them,
Yeah, but
Even
that's a,
just think of the possibilities. We could train these things to do jobs that are too dangerous for people.
But that's a 5-hour trip back. I mean, let's just see if we can talk to him. Find out why he took this out.
Where are we going to keep it? Where are we going to put it?
Tug, if it's only 5 hours back, we have to take it back now.
Well, we have a job.
This could be the find of the. This isn't just the find of the century. This is the find of history.
It's not going anywhere.
A tool using mole. Well, we don't know what kind of condition it's in. Perhaps it needs to be. Perhaps it's been injured by the blow. Maybe it will only survive so long.
Well, let's take a look at him anyway when we get back.
Well, yes, I think we should. And someone needs to take a look at you. Are you all right? Do you need medical
I need to get something. And I take off my shirt and I bundle it up and put it on the back of my neck.
How bad?
Show off my upper pectoral muscles from all of the.
How bad is it hurt?
It's not 3 points.
3 points. If somebody has first aid, they could give them 1 point back.
Yeah, well, I'll tend to that when we
Okay.
Is there such a thing as helping someone? I have first aid also.
Yeah, I believe somebody can correct me, but I'm pretty sure you can help, and that basically lets the person rolling roll a bonus die.
It still only restores 1 point.
Right.
Okay.
So, Charlie, do you want to roll first aid and then roll twice for bonus?
You said I got a bonus die, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's better. 46.
Okay.
Out of
So, Charlie takes her time. He gets you bandaged up.
By the way, Tug, how'd you sleep last night?
I guess okay. I had a weird dream, like the other night.
Did you write it down?
No, but
Do you
it was
still remember it?
some white-headed guy reading something to us. I don't know. No, sorry. I couldn't help myself. Yeah, that was weird. Like temples and
What
sugar
color?
maples and well, it was like a golden building with little spires sticking up in the air, and there was sugar maples all around. The same ones like here in the woods. Why?
The buildings were blue for me and Charlie.
Yeah, there were some blue parts.
Well,
And there was some other weird stuff. Things in the woods. And I look back towards where the mole men were as we're walking.
what about
What if
What-
they
what was
communicate
it?
by our dreams?
what was at the end? What woke you up?
There was a woman screaming. I thought maybe at first that I'd caught one of the mole men in my trap.
Speaking of which, I go check on the sack.
Yeah, he's still
That's-
out.
Okay,
I hope we didn't kill him.
me too.
I kind of liked him.
Okay, well, the next time he jumps at you, I won't interfere. How about that?
Well, no. I like monkeys too, but if one's on my back and biting me, this could be a whole new species, like what's his name said.
What are you guys doing right now? Are you like taking it out of the bag? Are you?
Well, we've gotten to go back to the house, right?
Yep. I'll say you're back to the house. No problem.
And I'm sure everybody is now there.
It's funny you say that. Everybody is there, but then you see Blaine come walking from like around the side of the house.
Okay. Hey, Blaine, guess what we
Blaine,
caught?
we
And
found
he-
something.
He's looking at the whole commotion. He's like, "What is going on here?"
We have a specimen. I think we need to get it back to the university as soon as possible.
Mole man.
Well, it's like Tug said, the face is like a star-nosed mole, jackrabbit ears, and it's tool using. Jasper, you still have the knife?
I do. Look, here it is.
Hey.
Here it is. This is it.
I don't think we can afford to waste any time. Charlie thinks she knocked it out. I don't think we want to open the sack and find out it's just playing dead like a possum. But who knows how much damage she did to it in the process of subduing it. How quickly can we get the specimen back to the university?
You can see the bag starting to twitch a little bit. And he's just looking at you like...
I guess she didn't kill it.
He's looking at you like you have 3 heads. He's like, is this your idea of a joke?
No, it's not a joke. Look at the knife. Look at Tug. He's been stabbed. No, there's nothing. There's no joke about it.
You all laughed at me, and now you'll see. Look at him. He's cool. Wait, we got to figure out a way to tie him up so that when we take him out of the bag, he doesn't run away. Close the door. Close the windows.
Oh, you're inside now?
Yeah. Hey.
Tug, I think we were lucky enough to get it in the bag. Let's not open the bag.
Well, Blaine doesn't know what you're talking about, so he wants to see what it is you're talking about.
So I tell him the whole story from the beginning.
Yep.
And then keep pointing at the bag. Keep pointing.
Well, while this is going on, I'm going to go and stand by my bags because something about the idea of standing by my stuff makes me feel a little bit more secure.
You guys,
Jasper, how soon was your? Well, you were dropped off, weren't you?
Yeah. I got a car. Yeah.
Well, when can you get a car? When's the car coming back?
Well, I was going to be going back with everyone else in the bus.
In the bus, yeah.
Well, there must be. We cannot keep this for. How long are we supposed to be out here?
About a week.
We cannot keep this in a sack for a week.
Wait, you said maybe we could train it. Let's get some food.
Could we chain it up?
Focus.
We don't have any chains, but maybe a rope.
Well, no, wait.
Ropes.
Every day, who's that? What was his name again?
Joe.
Joe? Yeah, John. It was Joe, wasn't it? Every day, Joe's taking us out to the dig site. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm certain that the university would be more than willing to defray the cost of requesting Joe to take us back if there's no way to get word to the bus. Maybe Joe can take us back to the university with the sample. It's only 5 hours.
I'm going to go over to the bag. Hey there, Mr. Moman. Hello.
Tug,
It's okay.
don't.
I know you stabbed me, but you were scared. Is it moving?
Yes.
So I'm like, shake the bag once for yes, twice for no. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's what my characters do.
Actually, Tug, that's not a bad idea.
Can you understand me?
There's no response that it's understanding. It's just struggling to get out.
Well, he doesn't have his knife, and he does have claws, but they just scratch. And I show him the scratch.
Is there any sign that he's able to tear out of the bag, Jeff?
Maybe.
Like,
it might take him a little while, but yeah.
Okay.
They obviously weren't razor sharp, but they're like, cat's claws.
Well,
we need a box or a crate or something with bars in the front.
You're right, Tug. Even if in 5 hours, even in a car, he still tears his way out. Yeah, we have to get something sturdier.
Suddenly, in the kitchen, a rock about yay big comes smashing through the window.
Sanity roll?
I look out the window.
They've come for him.
We don't see anything, Jeff?
No. But they've come for him. They've come for him.
Well, maybe they have.
Maybe they have my socks. outside the game. I'm sorry. It seems like this is all a comedy at this point, but my character's dumb, so that's the way he's acting to this whole. He's gonna get killed.
Blaine, when was Joe supposed to be here?
I'm sorry, what?
How soon is Joe supposed to be here, Blaine?
He usually shows up around, I'll say about 8 in the morning.
What time is it now?
It's still early, but maybe 6.
I bet he knows where we can get a cage.
Well, either way, we'll have to keep him in there for 2 hours, and
he's gonna be hungry.
Well, maybe if he gets hungry enough, he'll be too weak to tear his way out. I take another look outside a different window, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I see anything out there? Any motion?
Do a spot hidden.
A 96 is a 96 bad enough to be worse than a standard failure?
You realize you're just looking at a wall. There's not really a window there.
It's just a square on it's a picture.
I realize that I need to gather my wits and possibly consider making another sanity check soon.
I'm also going to run over and look out the window.
All right.
I'm probably going to yell something dumb like, "We have your friend, but we won't hurt him."
Do a dodge roll.
67, and it's a 40. So smack.
Ping!
I fall back.
Rock hits you square in the head.
I'm like, oh.
Through the window?
Yep.
Jeff?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
another, okay.
Different window.
Damage?
1 point.
All right. They're out
I'm gonna rush over to Tug to see if he's all right.
It's bloody nose.
Quite a blow.
Got a nice
I look out the window
edge.
to see if I can see anything rushing away.
Yeah, you see the bushes are moving. You don't see anything definite, but you see bushes moving.
Yeah.
It was a good shot.
I'm gonna hold my handkerchief over his nose.
Just give it to me.
I think you're. Are you meant to hold your head back or forward?
I don't know.
I'll make a first aid check for Tug's nose. That was a hard. What's the one that's in the middle?
Hard, yep.
Hard. It was a hard success on first aid for the nose.
Yeah. So I like this though.
Yep. You get your 1 point back, but you may be losing it again soon. What are you guys going to do?
How's everyone else reacting, Jeff?
I don't know.
Jasper, it's no worse than getting punched in the nose.
It's basically sorry, George. I thought you were like asking about the players. You're asking about the other NPCs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's basically confusion and a little bit of panic right now. It's starting to sink in that if these things, if you don't know how many there are, if there's 50 of them, and they're now surrounding the house, and they're attacking the house. I mean, what are you guys going to do?
I'm going to raid the kitchen.
Blaine, where's Jack?
He said he had a family emergency that he had to go home to or something.
And how did he do that?
I took him into the town, and I don't know the details, but I think he worked out a way of getting a ride into the.
How did he know that he had a family emergency all the way out here?
Yeah, I wondered that too. He said something came up and he had to leave. So
Who cares?
I didn't argue with him, but he made it clear that he wanted to leave. So I just took him to town and came back.
Oh, so I think we need to let the mole man go because they want him back, and they're his He's their people. I mean, they're his people.
They're not people though. They're some freakish new creature that we've just discovered.
No, it's
In the
too
woods.
valuable to let it go.
Well,
I mean-
they're obviously in the Stone Age. So
Yeah, I mean, just that alone. I mean, just think of that as a discovery. We have just discovered a species of animal that's capable of making and using tools.
Jasper's right.
That's
We can survive 2 hours in a farmhouse against Stone Age midgets.
Yeah, we've got a kitchen. I mean, it'll have knives.
I just had a thought. What if they
Steak
know?
tenderizers.
What if they know all about how to make fire? We're kind of screwed in this house. It's wood.
It's not that easy to just burn something down, even if you know how to start fires.
I think we should let him go.
Jerry, can you give me a dodge roll, please?
We know where they live.
That's the best possible success. No, not a crit. A crit is 01. It's an 03. So
Extreme.
what is it? Hard extreme. Yeah.
Yep.
So extreme success.
Okay, you managed to see at the last minute coming through the front window a long stick with a sharpened point. Basically a makeshift spear. And it comes crashing through the window and it just misses you.
That means that it can't be that long. The creature must be standing reasonably near the window. I look over. Do I see this spear-wielding mole creature?
Again, you see kind of bushes moving right on the edge.
But I saw the stick like a second ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I turn and look, there's no stick, no creature, just bushes moving?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Let's get away from windows. Is there I mean, we haven't really seen, Jeff, I don't think, a layout exactly where the windows are, but is there a way to be in the center of the house that's not close to the windows?
Yeah, that's basically your best option, is to basically the middle of the room is your safest point.
I'm going to look over at Charlie and say, we should let it go.
I'm going to ignore you.
I'm
gonna
I look over at the sack to be sure that it's still there, that other ones haven't snuck in while we were distracted.
I think there's enough people in panic and confusion that it would be very difficult for something to sneak in unnoticed. So,
Well, good, but is the sack still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I go over, get hold of the sack and bring it with us into the center of the room. Blaine, can you try and get everyone organized and settled down? We need to fortify ourselves, wait for the car.
Can we put some blankets up against the window so they can't throw anything through? I don't know how we put them up there, I guess.
Not unless you want to get pelted while you're putting them up.
I'm going to search the kitchen for potential weapons, anything, pots and pans, frying pans, knives, anything at all that can be used as weapons.
It's kind of an abandoned house. There might not be much.
Yeah, there might be one or two bits and pieces. Other than that, but should we maybe boil some water and get some towels as well? Isn't that what you're meant to do in an emergency?
Could you do a luck roll for me, Jasper? I'm just curious. See what you find.
Oh, I got 7 out of 60.
That's pretty darn good.
It
You
is
can
pretty
find.
good. I find a machine gun.
Okay, maybe not that good.
You find a hand grenade.
I find a machine gun, but no bullets.
How about a nice kitchen knife?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. It might be a little bit dull looking at. It's been here a while, but it'll go in.
Jerry, I throw this out the window. I hand him my sock. We don't know what these primitives understand.
All right. Can I throw it out the window from here, Jeff, or am I going to go over the window and risk getting struck with a rock?
You can throw it like this out the window.
Well, I still want to know, Jeff. Can I make it out the window from here, or what?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
All right. Do I have to roll throw?
No, I'll.
Okay. All right. I throw it out the window.
Yep. Big dramatic throw. Bam! Sock goes flying through the window. It's awesome. Charlie, can you do a listen roll?
Nope. 65 out of 50.
Okay.
Jeff, I make sure that if we're fortifying ourselves in the center of the living room,
Yeah.
I do go over to the kitchen and get the rest of my ammunition and just, have it ready to go in my pockets because I may need to reload, I realize.
Okay.
I have enough for, I don't think we ever firmly established how much ammunition I had. Enough for a hunting trip.
Okay. So basically, it sounds like everybody is just gathering in the center of the room, and it sounds like you're basically just going to try to wait this thing out. Is that?
Well, we could wait it out, but I was having an idea. I mean, maybe it's a silly idea, but I remember having a lecture about barter societies last semester, and you say that it took your sock.
That's why I had him throw the sock out. Maybe they'll stop.
Then it gave your sock back, and now you've given your sock. What if socks are their unit of currency? If we all took our socks off and everyone threw their socks out, maybe that would like persuade them. If they had loads of socks, they might just go.
At the very least, it might confuse the hell out of them.
Have you ever heard of an indigenous tribe willing to sell one of its members?
Maybe they're just looking to make profit
Yes.
and they haven't figured out the middle part. Yes.
Tug, Jasper, and Jerry, can you all do listen rolls, please?
Mm-hmm. 15. That's really good. That's my listen. My listen's only 20. So
I'm too focused on arguing about indigenous barter systems to hear anything, apparently.
Okay.
I got 27 out of 40.
Okay.
Standard pass.
Jasper, you hear what sounds like scrambling on the rooftop. You're still on the first floor, so it's a bit faint, but it sounds like something's on the roof.
Shh.
how about me? I passed also. Same thing?
Tug, you see what looks like little stones, pebbles, charcoal dropping from the chimney down into the fireplace.
Coming down the chimney.
They're on the roof.
And there's something else, Tug, that you hear. The thing inside the bag is making a noise.
Like an animal making noise, or like it's saying words?
It doesn't sound like a Demogorgon.
like the chittering you heard before.
Okay. But, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over, because I'm laying on my back. I'm going to roll over, and I'm going to, on my hands and knees, go over to the chimney, and I'm going to attempt to reach in and close the flue. Obviously, the flue's open because the rocks came down.
Yeah.
The flue might be rusted and gone, so.
Okay. No, that's reasonable. You do that without any issue.
Okay. That takes care of that.
Could everybody
I'm poised with my knife.
Could everybody do a PAL roll and tell me what you get number-wise.
78 out of 50, so bad.
Wow. Seriously?
I expend 5 luck and get 75 out of. Well, wait. You can. Is it still a success if it's equal? Does it have
Sure.
to be? Okay.
Sure, I'll do
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend 5 luck so I can make it.
Okay.
I got 13 out of 60.
That's quite good.
Just a quick outside of the game. Can you spend luck on stats?
That's a good question. I think in this case I will allow it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Charlie, did you pass?
No, 92 out of 80.
Okay, so Jerry and Jasper each passed. You suddenly realize that both Tug and Charlie and a few of the other students that are now in the center of the room have just collapsed.
Like unconscious?
Yeah, they're laying on the floor.
All right, who is still conscious?
You, Jasper, and I'll just say 3 others.
I'm going to immediately move to the nearest unconscious person and attempt to take their pulse.
Yeah, you find the pulse.
I'm going to look over at the sack. What's the sack doing?
It's just sort of not doing anything.
It's motionless?
Yep. Jerry, can you do another?
Since I know I don't know what happened, I ask the 3 NPCs, what just happened?
Yeah, they're just as confused as you are, and the look of worry. Like,
Okay,
what just happened?
What kind of check do you want me to make?
Could you do another dodge roll, please?
Hey. Apparently not.
Okay. A stone comes in, smacks you in the head. 1 point damage.
Ow. Where'd it come from?
The same broken window. So it didn't really smash the glass. It just came right through.
Do I see what through the rock?
I'll say sure. At this point, you can see maybe you look out the window and it looks like they're getting brazen. You see maybe 2 or 3 of them kind of dancing around. Like just...
I shoot the closest one.
Okay. Go ahead. Firearms.
Does the gun wake us up?
No. Good question.
Hard success.
Hard success. Okay. Roll damage.
You happen to know what a hunting rifle does?
Just do a 1d10.
4.
Okay, it drops to the ground.
How do the others react?
They look angry. Jasper and Jerry, could you do another power roll, please?
I look angry back, if possible. Say, I have more of these. A power roll, did you say?
Yes, please.
Passed again, 36 out of 60 this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I pass.
All right. So you see the remaining students drop. So it's just you 2 standing.
Right.
Jeff, did we?
I'm going to grab the bag, and I'm moving towards the door.
Jasper, what are you doing? I'm following him. Of course.
If we've got to give it back. We've got to give it. I know it's the find of the century, but we've got to give it back. Otherwise, I mean, as soon as we as soon as we pass out, they'll come in here and they'll take it anyway. And goodness knows what they'll do to us while we're asleep. I don't even want to think about that.
Jasper?
We've just got to give it back to them.
They might kill it. No, they might kill us anyway. As long as we have it, well, we have something. But
look, everyone's unconscious. They're all passed out. They're going to be next. It'll happen to us next.
Jeff, I point the rifle at the bag, and I say, and I just shout, "Wake them up!" Anything happen?
No response.
And do I see the dead one outside, or did they take it?
Well, it's still there. It's laying there.
Well, Jasper, if we let it go, we can take the dead one, or we can kill this one, and then there'll be 2 dead ones. What do you think?
I just think just if we just let that go, maybe they'll take it and they'll leave.
Dodge roll, Jerry.
No
Okay.
dodge.
This time another spear comes through the window, and it hits you in the upper arm for 2 points. It draws blood.
Okay. Does that mean the thing's close enough to shoot that one too?
Sure, you could spin and shoot if you want.
Yeah.
For God's sake, man! It's a spear. They're intelligent enough to make tools.
I
can't kill them if we don't know what they are.
I already killed one. Well,
There's 5 of them jumping around now.
I don't know if I want to spend 10 luck to kill 1 out of 5. On the other hand, that was a close roll. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spend it.
Okay.
Yeah, should I roll the damage?
Yes, please.
Is there a way to re-roll damage in this game?
No. Unfortunately, no.
1. That's the last time I spent luck for something like that, I guess.
Yeah, so you wing it. It takes damage, but it just kind of like, spins around a little bit.
And where are these 5? All outside the same window?
Yep, you can see 5 of them.
Does Jasper still have the sack?
Yep. Well, as far as I know, yes.
All right.
Well, it's Jasper's action.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what to say. So I say, all right, leave it just outside the front door. And then I back toward the center of the house, but I'm still ready to shoot them. Assuming I even can still back up. I didn't move, right? I only shot?
Yeah, I think you're still pretty much...
Okay. So if I can move, I move back, and I get ready to shoot some more, and stand there and bleed.
Right.
I'm going to go to the door.
Okay.
And while I'm holding the sack, I'm going to just try talking to the sack in a sort of calming, soothing manner, as though it were a very small baby or puppy or something.
Who's a good boy?
Yeah, just trying to calm it. Just going, it's all right. There's a good lad. There you go. It's okay. Here we go. We're gonna let you out now. It's all right. And as soon as I get to the door, I will open the bag. And
then leave the bag, not open the bag.
Just open the top of the bag and just sort of, let things happen.
Yep. So as soon as the opening is available, this thing...
I'm still holding the big knife.
Okay. This thing leaps out. It gets into the daylight, or cloudy light, daylight. Takes a few steps. It's like 10 feet away from the front door, and it turns around and it looks at you right in the eye. And then it takes off running.
Well, I will head back in immediately.
Yep.
Do I see any other ones when he does that?
You see that they are sort of, how to describe it? I don't want to say dancing. It's not a comical, but it's like they're bouncing almost, like they're ready and they're waiting and they're anxious, but they're holding. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then the longer you watch them, you realize that they're peeling away one by one.
Does it remind me of the capering motion of the shapes in the dream?
Sure. Does it?
Do they take the dead one, or is it still there?
Yeah, they pick up the dead one and take it with them.
How does it? Do any of our sleeping classmates stir?
Not yet.
I do first aid. Can I do first aid on myself?
Sure.
That would be sure if I hadn't rolled a 93.
Okay.
Are us unconscious people having any kind of weird dreams?
It's a very blissful, peaceful rest.
Right. Disgusted, exhausted, and obviously overwhelmed, I pull out my sketchbook and try to draw one of the critters while I still remember what they looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to make some notes because I'm very interested that they take their dead away, because that would imply that either they've got funeral practices, or they're self-aware enough to realize the need to keep their presence and their existence secret from human beings, which would indicate intelligence. I still think this is a huge find.
Yeah, when I'm done drawing, I'm probably trying to make some notes.
Something we need to come back to this and approach it. With a proper scientific method, just not ill prepared like this. This is it. It's just caught us off guard. We could mount a proper expedition here if we can get people to believe us.
So what I'm going to do, it sounds like the two, quote, scientists / nerds are doing their due diligent note-taking and drawing and sketching. Meanwhile, the rest of the students are slowly coming out of it one by one. Now what? What do you all want to do now?
Well, how the ones that are coming out of it? How do they feel? What did they experience did they just black out or?
Yeah, I'm asking Charlie. When I see people stir, I ask Charlie if she remembers what happened.
I had this amazing dream that we found these mole men out in the woods and that we brought them back here and they attacked us.
That's why I'm bleeding now, Doug.
I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding here. That wasn't a dream, was it?
No.
Where's the mole man?
Jasper, let it go.
Excellent. I'm so glad. And they stopped fighting us, right? I knew they would.
Yeah, they left straight away.
Until tonight, later on tonight, when we're all restful and sleeping.
Yeah, don't forget, Tug, they attacked us first.
Well, I was thinking about that. I don't think the sheriff went through your stuff. I think the mole men have already been here. Because they stole my socks. They stole my socks and they gave it back. So... Oh, Jasper, they gave it back with a snake in it. I don't know why the snake was there.
Maybe they know it's a poisonous snake.
Maybe it means something to them.
Venomous, please. Proper terms.
Why do you think they attacked it to begin with? Why do you think it attacked you, Tug? They know we have food. They know we have socks.
We went into their territory.
Yeah.
Why does a mean dog attack you? Because you go into it.
Probably territorial, isn't it?
And I mean, I harbor no ill will against the mole people. I just we should get some of Jasper and your not archaeology, anthropology people to come out here and study them.
Yeah, I think we should treat them with respect.
Now, if they don't want to be found, why attack someone? If they don't want to be found, why just attack someone for walking through the woods?
Maybe we came very close to their.
Well, it sounds to me like they were actually hunting you. If that's something for us to try
She's
to
right.
find.
They lured us into the woods.
And then he ambushed you from above.
We chose to go into the woods with the footprints. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't think the mole men would do that because they're normally nice people.
Yeah, because this is the first time you met them, right? And they were really nice to you the first time, right?
They just took our socks. They were curious.
Oh, and by curious, to see how many holes it takes to put you down? Okay.
They've escaped detection for who knows how long. They're intelligent enough to plan, to hunt, and most of all...
But we're also out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, yeah, there's people living here, but these are, Vermont woods.
But I mean, where would these things come from? There's nothing in the fossil record to indicate anything like this.
I don't know. Maybe they're monkeys and we just don't recognize them. I know there's not supposed to be any monkeys in South America.
Maybe they're from deep underground. Really deep. They look like moles.
Yeah, but they came out of the trees. The moles don't climb trees. So we have to rethink. Mole monkeys. They're mole monkeys.
Well, whatever they are, they knocked out almost everyone in here, and we don't even know how.
I have to admit, that was freaking exciting. We got to give them something. I don't know.
What? I mean, what do they like?
I don't know. We got to.
Aside from socks.
Yeah, I mean, what can we give them? I'm just going to look at my own pockets.
See, this is how religions start, isn't it? Like what you were saying to me the other day, Jasper, that I'm ready to start worshiping these guys and giving them presents and sacrifices and stuff. I just realized that. See?
You're ready to start worshiping them?
Well, I don't mean that.
I was kind of thinking they might make quite good pets.
Well, don't we worship our pets? I don't know. I'm glad you let him go because we can always come back. I'm hungry.
Well, you know what they say? Cat spelled backwards is tack. I've got that wrong.
You always say that.
So we'll say things sort of calm down. People are finding their center again.
When Joe shows up, I think we're going to tell him the whole story.
Okay.
At least, well, we've still got the knife.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Look at it. If you think about what this really is, I mean, you think about it in scientific terms and what we've actually found here. I mean, this is a contemporary cutting implement made by a non-human species.
It's astonishing.
The mole monkeys of southern Vermont.
You think they'll come looking for it?
They probably have more.
I mean, do you think they know how bad it is for them that we have it?
I'll say that Blaine right now is mostly focused on what to do about all the broken windows.
Yeah.
He's worried.
Well, what does Joe recommend? Can we go into town and get some boards that we can board this up with?
Sure, that's possible.
Is it raining yet?
It's a nice fine mist, steady mist.
It's going to rain.
It's gonna rain. But you guys are up for it. Blaine is still encouraging everybody to see if they can get out and do something today, so it's not totally wasted.
Well,
Totally wasted. Do you consider being assaulted by miniature tool-using primates a wasted day, Blaine?
you guys make up a big deal out of nothing. Can we get a couple of the other guys to go with Joe into town to get boards so they can board this all up, and then we can go out and do something?
Well, Joe's going to take everybody to the dig site again.
Okay.
And then what you guys can do is on the way, you can knock off early. You're probably not even going to get the full day in anyway.
Because of the rain.
Because of the rain. But you can knock off early, stop at the general store, get some supplies.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I must have misunderstood something. Are you all planning that we should continue staying in the house?
Yeah. Where else? You got that look on your face like you're just stunned.
I am stunned.
You're afraid the mole men are going to come back for revenge.
Yes, I shot one dead.
That's why we're putting boards over the windows.
You shot 2 dead.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
You shot
I wasn't sure if I'd got the... Well, I know I shot 2. I wasn't sure if I'd killed the other.
I told you not to shoot any of them. Well, you know what?
I was trying to frighten them off.
Jasper can probably back me up on this, but my guess is that now they know that we can repay violence with violence.
That was my intention.
They will be hesitant to attack us for no reason. And since we don't have their guy anymore...
if they're rational, I think you'd be right. And, well...
Animals don't take revenge, usually.
It's something more than animals.
You're right, George. It was only just the one. I forgot the one you did.
Well, let's get going. And
well, you're right. If we're going to stay there, we have to fortify it.
Right. So that's what our intention is.
Oh, well, we should find out where in this town we can get more firearms. And everyone should be armed, right? They must have rifles. It's a small town. There must be
Is that strictly necessary? I can't help but feel we might be escalating.
I think Jerry's losing it.
Yeah, I mean we're supposed to be academics. We're supposed to be interested in scientific inquiry and studying things, not
a couple of mole monkeys, and Jerry's wanting to form an army. Where's Jack? Well, Jack left.
If we were going to go off, it should be for cages and equipment for.
Well, that too, if we can get any
things,
around here.
Not stuff for killing them. God, there's never a zoologist about when you need one, is there?
I was all for keeping one alive, if you all remember. But
Yeah,
that didn't work out. That didn't work out so well.
I'm not sure they're going to let us do that.
Me neither. So it's better to have any specimens than none at all. But I agree. We need cages, and I still think the rest of you should try and arm yourselves.
I'm going to buy some extra socks.
All right. We have an option now. Technically, there's 4 minutes left. You guys want to try something else? I could give you like a couple of folklore stuff, or we could just call it.
Well, we actually started at 6:11. If anybody's willing to go a little longer.
Sure, that'd be good.
That's up to Jeff, really, because he's the GM.
Okay.
Want to do folklore stuff? Folklore stuff's cool.
Okay. So let's do this. We'll say the group split. The geologists head to the dig site. Joe takes them there. Blaine is actually going with the geologist this time. And then the folklore group gets in their car. They can now head into town. And I will leave it up to you guys. Who would you like to talk to first?
Gets in the car. Remind
You have
me.
two cars and a truck. Joe's driving the truck for the geology, and the folklore students have the car.
I think. I'm sorry. What I'm asking is, can you remind me? So were these vehicles like already there the whole time?
Yeah, you drove here in 2 cars.
Right.
So Jerry and Jasper are going into town.
Yeah.
We're going to the geology place.
Okay. So now we can do the NPC switch. So you can play Higgins if you want, and Charlie, you can play William. Do you guys want to decide who do you want to speak to? You want to speak to a random person or some of the people we talked about, I think, last episode?
Well, we were planning to go talk to the priest. So
There was, I believe there was 3 names mentioned. You were
sorry, not the
thinking
priest,
about-
the pastor, right? He's not a priest. Yeah.
Yep, the pastor.
Yeah.
The reporter came up, and I think the doctor was mentioned.
Yeah, the doctor. I bet you he's been here long enough that he's heard about weird things.
And not only that, but you guys are wounded.
That's true.
Well, let's go see
we,
the doctor.
we need to
My
get someone to
this
go
arm
look at your
needs-
head, Tug.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with them then because we'll go to the doctor.
Okay.
So, Doc, you get many people wounded by monkey mole men? The monkey mole men at Vermont?
I'm just going to stay in the waiting room enjoying the complimentary cigarettes.
Yeah.
Are you leading with that, Tug?
No. I was joking.
Okay.
So I show him my wounds. I think I might need stitches.
Yeah, that's quite a. How did that happen?
I got attacked by an animal, and I show him all the scratches
Same.
on my arm.
same here.
Man, you guys really got beat up. What happened?
I don't know. Raccoon, maybe. It jumped out of a tree and landed on my shoulder and latched onto me.
Yeah, I tried to get it off of him, and well, I did, but I'm a little the worse for wear myself. Do you get many animal attacks around here?
I mean, not like this. Not with a group of people. Not one.
We were fiddling around this morning in the woods, and we
We're staying out and
disturbed a whole nest of them.
Yeah.
So, have you ever heard of any weird animals living out in the woods? Because we didn't get a really good look at them. It looked like maybe a raccoon or a monkey.
it looked to me more like sort of a big. I know this sounds strange, but sort of like a big mole. You ever hear of anything like that?
Yeah. So the doctor's like, he's getting all those stories. He's getting mole men. He's getting monkeys. He's getting raccoons.
I didn't say mole man. I just said
No, I know. But there's clearly the stories are not straight, and supposedly these things attacked you. So he's trying to he's a very confused look on his face right now, and he's looking at you very suspiciously.
I say, we're city boys, and we're not used to the animals in the woods out here.
Good cover. He kind of responds with, it might be rabies. I mean, it could be like a raccoon with rabies. Once an animal has rabies, they don't fear humans.
I'm absolutely fucking terrified at this point looking at him. I'm taking immediately sanity damage because I hadn't even thought about rabies. I don't want to die of rabies. Hydrophobia.
You think we're going to need to get... Can you test for that, Doc?
I will take some blood tests.
Actually, I guess outside of character, you can't really test for rabies because the incubation period is anywhere from like 2 weeks to a month, and by the time you start showing symptoms, it's too late. So what they usually do is they'll give you the vaccine as a preventative measure. But it's very painful. And
Through your belly button?
Yeah.
Similarly out of character, I didn't know what the state of medicine for rabies was in 1930, and a 20 in biology for Jerry isn't going to do it, so it seemed like a reasonable question.
All right. I'm freaking terrified, so.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that info, Link, because I didn't know that either. So
Yeah, I mean, that's outside of character.
yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, so he's helped do the shot routine with the and I like how you kind of presented that very like scientifically and not medically. And I just had this image of the doctor also presenting like, if you have it, it's going to be too late by the time you find out. Like he's very nonchalant that like you all might die in a week, So there's very little bedside manner going on. And he starts prepping for some shots.
Oh, crap. Okay.
William didn't get bit.
By the way, Jeff, just
William
to
would say, "Oh,
say this as soon as possible, I did not leave any ammunition in the house.
Okay. You have
All on me.
All right.
But I realize I can't walk around town with a hunting rifle. So
where'd you put the rifle?
it's in the car.
Okay. Sorry, William, what were you saying?
Who?
Charlie Lee / William.
Oh.
I was just kind of making fun of Tug right now, saying, "Oh man, it's gonna hurt." It was
Oh.
about like this long. And
Oh. I'd rather be bitten by a rabid monkey mole man. Oh, careful.
He's prepping things. Anything else you guys want to ask him?
Been here long?
All right. Here's what we'll do.
Yeah, I'll ask the doctor if he's ever heard of anything weirder out in the woods than rabid animals. We feel a little foolish. We're supposed to be doing some folk research on folklore and local stories, and here we are getting bit up by varmints. So maybe if he knows any tales, the day won't be wasted. And plus, it would be a nice distraction from, well, really a fine distraction from those rather long needles.
Yeah.
So.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just kind of fast forward just because of time issues. So let's do, first I'm going to give you a little description. So the person you're talking to is actual Dr. Perry. His office is a 2-story affair. Top floor is serving as his living quarters. The main floor is his office. The basement acts as the town morgue. The walls inside are painted white. Heavy medicinal smell crinkles the nose to anyone who enters. The good doctor at first was very happy to greet you guys. Of course, once he sees your wounds, then the training kicked in and he took on a much more serious. So he turned to like a more business-like approach. At your questioning about the strange animals and such, why don't you all, whoever's there, can do a psychology roll and just use your stats. Don't worry about NPC stats.
I got it too.
Ooh.
Which is odd because I'm absolutely fucking terrified of this giant needle.
yeah, I got 38 out of 50.
Okay. So that's fine. I really just needed one of you to pass because basically when you asked him about the strangeness, the word strange triggered a reaction in him where he kind of tensed up a little bit, and you saw that tense. So there's something there. There's something that he is unsure whether or not he wants to share it with you.
Maybe Doug saw it because he's like so hyper alert and so like anxious about the needles that he's like watching him really closely.
Mm-hmm.
So is do we have to catch this animal? Because I could probably identify it again if we did. It was really weird. Are you going to stick that all the way in?
Oh, the funny the funny thing about this is that we know that he didn't get bit, got stabbed. So he's getting this for no reason.
Got scratches. I hadn't thought of that either, dude.
I know I'm getting it for no reason, and that I'm probably like distracted weighing whether or not I want to like back out now, and also whether or not it's bad to get rabies shots like for no reason. But I don't really want to say that, so I'm just kind of sitting here worrying a little.
I'm going to take it because I'm afraid I'm going to get rabies. He did bite at me and scratch at me. So.
Another outside game thing. Rabies is a virus, so while viruses do mutate, they're not as they don't have the same sort of antigen shift as bacterial infections. So they don't adapt as fast as bacteria. So you don't worry about it. A vaccine for a virus won't be really wasted.
At this point, vaccines for rabies have been around about 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I also think it's more than one shot, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you got to get it.
Whole series, right?
Yeah, you got to come back every once in a while. You get the. So I'm just going to ask him. I'm going to say, have there been other people attacked by rabid animals or strange things in the woods or like little monsters?
You know what? Let's do it this way. Tug, can you do a spot hidden for me?
Sure.
And Jeff, just to remind you, I had also set the doctor up to tell any weird stories he knew just because I wanted to get work done and be distracted from the needle.
That was a spot hidden?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 34 out of 25. I don't have much spot hidden.
Jasper and Jerry, could you each do a spot hidden?
Fail.
Come on, Jasper.
Rolling one as well, or
that's 28 out of 60, which is a hard pass.
There are some books that you see on the shelf mixed in with the medical books that you would normally expect to see. And some of these books are catching your eye because they're all about vampirism.
Vampirism, did you say?
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to sort of peruse them for a moment, subtly. I don't want to draw attention to the fact that I'm doing it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have any specific examples, but just a series of books.
The Montague Summons one is bound to be in there, isn't it?
I'm sure. Yep.
That'll be in there.
What's the name?
The vampire and his kid.
Casilla, I want to say.
Carmilla,
that's it.
Also, there's fiction as well.
Yes.
Not really the sort of thing you expect a medical man to have.
So I'm going to make you work for it. Tug and Jerry, since you're both basically right there in the room with him, could you either do a charm persuade or I'll let you role play it?
Well, I started, so how does he respond?
All right, so you just asked him about weird stuff. So he kind of like flinched, and he's not sure he wants to share that information.
Sometimes when I get scared, I just start rambling. So I'm going to be like, yeah, we came here because we're doing geology work and some folklore stuff, and we'd heard all sorts of stories about this area, and they were talking about the vampires of Vermont, and it was people dying of consumption, and I'm going to just go rambling on and on about that.
Okay.
See if he says anything. Have you ever seen the vampire people or had anybody die? I mean, he's going to stick that needle in me, and I'm going to be like,
Any cases of consumption?
And I got an 8.
Okay, that's perfect. Yes. So, a couple of those words triggered his eyes, like kind of like, whoa, who am I dealing with? And he starts to open up a little bit. He tells you that he's been here for about 12 years now. He's got a New York accent. He's originally from New York City, and he thought he'd get away to a small town and sort of semi-retire, open up a small practice for a small town, and hopefully kick back and live a little bit of an easier life. But when he got here, he himself started to hear strange stories and things that didn't quite make sense and sort of bothered him as time went on. There was a group that talked about Sarah's shade, the ghost of Sarah.
We heard that story.
Yeah, he tells you that there was an issue. I don't remember when. It was not that long ago, I don't think. Basically, the sheriff contacted me and asked me to help him look into something. It was, do you guys remember Sarah is the sheriff's sister?
Sister, right.
So this was sort of a personal favor to him. There were reports that there were some men out messing around with her grave. So he asked me to look into it with him and find out what was going on. Now, the sheriff caught the guys, but we weren't sure what they did, if anything. So we proceeded to exhume the body. And that was a bit of a shock, because no sooner did we remove the last nail of the coffin, I lifted the lid and I was shocked to see the corpse of a calf. Its legs have been broken in order to fit inside of a small wooden coffin. So the sheriff was quite upset. He didn't know quite how to react. I didn't know how to react. I don't know what to do in a case like that. So the sheriff sort of swore me to secrecy, and he did not see any real sign of a crime. So he let the guys go. But yeah.
What did they say?
Who, the guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. They played dumb the whole time. And the sheriff had no, there was no body, so he couldn't, it wasn't like they switched them. It was just like, why are they out there? What was going on? And there was no crime committed, so he pretty much had to let him go.
And in
The whole problem.
Yeah. In the process, they discovered that that Sarah's body was not in the coffin.
Right. And the sheriff did not want to upset the town, so he basically just said, let's just put it back and we'll deal with it later. And that was a couple of years ago.
So he just reburied the calf in his sister's coffin?
Yeah.
To keep the town from scandal. Does he have any idea where his sister might be?
As far as I know, no.
Were you the one who treated her for consumption?
Yes.
So she really died.
Yes.
So
Was there... All right, so you said you were treating her for consumption. Did you find anything odd about her condition? Something that might not have... Something you might have just chalked up to saying, oh, maybe I imagined this?
Two things. The first thing, I was upset with the fact that they had that old witch looking at her, too.
Which old witch?
That old crazy bat that lives out on the edge of town.
What's her name?
Agnes Bellwether.
Yeah. Agnes Bellwether, you remember? She told me that those things in the woods were demons, but they were mole men. Uh-oh. Did I say that out loud? I did.
And he's
Right.
continuing his story, and he's like, I don't know what that lady did to Sarah. She kept giving her some sort of, I don't know, they were calling it a potion or something. I don't know what it was, but I can't help but think that did not help her condition at all. So that was one I would consider a strange thing. And then the other thing is that in the time that I've been here, I've tried to lead a quiet life. I've tried to retire, but just things are getting really weird around here.
Really?
There seems to be a high incident of deaths to the children.
From what?
That's the good question. Everything seems to have a logical explanation for some reason. It's always an accident. It's always they tripped and fell on a piece of farm equipment. They fell from the loft in the barn. There's always, it just seems to be very accident prone.
Did you have a chance to examine the body?
Yes, and that's where it gets weird. When I brought the bodies back, I was looking into basically doing like an autopsy, and the bodies were lacking in blood.
They had no blood?
Did they suffer
Yes.
any wounds when they were brought in?
I'm sorry, you asked about wounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there were definitely wounds. And now here's the thing. There was blood at the scene, but it didn't match up. It seemed like there should have been more blood.
How often do things like this happen, Doctor?
I don't see it in front of me, so I'm just going to give you a vague answer. He doesn't give you a clear.
Too many times. That's how many times. It's too
Yeah.
many times.
I think even one time is too many for something like that.
But kids have accidents all the times living on farms and stuff, but they don't get drained of blood.
And I just can't shake the feeling that maybe Sarah isn't dead.
Well, I was about to ask, Doctor, how did she come to acquire consumption?
Sorry,
It's
say that
quite-
again.
How did she come to be taken with consumption? It's quite contagious, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't actually know the answer to that. I think it's airborne, right? It's tuberculosis.
Well, it's tuberculosis. If you get somebody else's saliva on you, yeah, you're
like
gonna,
if somebody coughs or something like
right.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
But
So he'll just respond with whatever the normal answer would be.
Yeah.
okay. If did she actually have all of the signs of consumption? Was she spitting up blood and
Yes.
coughing all the time?
Yes.
But there were no other cases at that time.
Not in this small town, no. I mean, maybe she picked it up when she traveled somewhere. I don't really know.
There have been lots and lots of stories about vampires in Vermont for hundreds of years.
Dun, dun, dun. I think that's a good spot to leave it.
That's a good spot. All right. Where's my notes? Our players included Mick Swan, Wayne Worthy, George Sieg, and myself, with Jeff Wilkins as a keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We like reading them. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.